Hello, I'll be presenting on the organizational design, structure, and change within regional centers. The agenda for this presentation is to address the issue within the organization, to state the structure, design, and culture of the services, to express the conscious culture of regional centers, follow the Cotter's 8-step change model and address a plan, and to state the challenges to the change within the services. I'll be focusing on one of the 8 dimensions in which firms are rated. I'll be focusing specifically on the quality of products and services. There are concerns of the product and the service within Regional Center. There are different vendors that work within Regional Center that provide the services, and at times all consumers are not accepted due to their delay to all services offered. So for this presentation, I'll focus on the new change within the services, which is putting a cap on one of our services called Respite. Respite is a break for our parents or the consumers that may need assistance within their homes. Regional Center follows directives from DDS, which is the Department of Developmental Services. And as coordinators and managers, each case is usually looked at case by case scenario, as each disability has different delays or restrictions within the home and within the community. So the new directive really does take away those personalized services. There's different ramifications and likely consequences. So when changing the way services are assessed, it can lead to consumers becoming upset. It decreases and it takes away from families that were under the impression of services that were stated to be ongoing, which may result in more appeal cases. Managers and coordinators having more work, sending out notice of actions, and families upset with workers, making the workday less productive and more complaints, which is having a negative feedback on the agency, resulting in less funds to the organization with less consumers using services. This does change the culture of the organization. So Regional's mission statement is dedicated to improving the lives of individuals with developmental disabilities by promoting independence, inclusion, and empowerment, which main focus is to coordinate the generic services and normalize the lives of individuals with disabilities and their families. So changing the empowering and inclusion aspects of the system services, it really does take away case by case, and it's more generalized, as there could only be a certain cap for the service that we offer, depending on if your disability needs more assistance throughout the day. So employees are having to adapt to their work ethic. They are not so openly able to talk about what services they have, and for the families to request a certain number that would really help them out during the day, as they are the ones that are needing these services and having to live day by day with these disabilities and these delays that do cause more havoc to their daytime. This will make all cases be assessed with a tool that may not apply across the board. So it's lack of awareness, and it diminishes the conscious culture of regional centers. The values of conscious culture is ethics, inclusion, environmental care, social awareness. So when change is made at Regional Center, it'll be announced with no further detail or trainings or word prompts to assist the ones working with the families, such as the coordinators and the managers. Um, there should really be a better system to incorporate the change, to stress the importance and the benefit of the change that is being brought down from DDS, which is a directive from a bigger system. And our organization regional centers have to implement the directives that's given to us. So having the information provided by the leaders would benefit each leader to better inform their team of the why. So after watching the video called Leaders Create the Culture video, I really think that the in-person presentations would be necessary in order to let the leaders, the managers know and their team. Reasonings for the cap on services. Maybe there's too much money is being spent and not enough budget that's allowed throughout the year. Just not having those reasonings really does make change harder to implement when you're the one actually working with the families. Letters sent to families explaining the new change. The letter should be sent from DDS or the people who are making the change. I feel like it would really have more importance, and it would show the benefit of why they're changing what services were already agreed upon. And offer open questions and surveys before the cap is set in place. So a lot of times these caps and change happen, and then surveys or questions are put out afterwards, when really if you're going to change the services and change what you're offering to families, they should know beforehand, just so they know that it's coming, not necessarily know that it has started yesterday. There's Kotter's 8-step change model, and this change model consists of 8 steps, which are create a sense of urgency. Number 2, build a guiding coalition. 3, form a strategic vision. Enlist a volunteer army. Enable action by removing barriers. Generate short-term wins. Sustain acceleration. And the institute change. This was taken from a webpage by Dr. Kotter, stating the 8 different steps for leading change. So the plan for necessary change as a manager, which I would implement, is having a meeting with the team, including the CEO, including maybe people from the DDS office, the director of regional centers, just to gain their input. Ensure the team knows how and when to inform families of new change. Compose a letter for all team members to provide to their families. Having the team provide feedback and the manager compose a letter of feedback to give back to the directors to know how it is impacting the families. Providing this uniform letter, it will allow any barriers of misinformation. So this letter would state the same thing and all families would get the same information at once. Share the importance of placing a cap on services and share why the change is occurring. Reinforce that the change will occur, an employer familiar to use their rights to enforce change, and to have the change take place and see how it benefits the organization. Those are the steps that I would take as a manager when having to implement a new change to the organization. Those are the 8 steps I would take following Kotter's design. The leadership theory that I would follow is the path goal theory of leadership. Being a good leader involves the empowering and motivating of the employees to believe in the change and be knowledgeable to ensure families that there will continue to be supports. However, there does need to be caps on service hours. Taken from our textbook, Organizational Behavior, Managing People and Organizations, the path goal theory of leadership suggests that effective leader behavior clarifies the paths or behaviors that will lead to subordinates to desired rewards or goals. So the lessons learned is to always collaborate and include the team when change is occurring, to have the CEO or the one that is placing the change input presented to the team so they understand and have knowledge of the change, and to eliminate barriers of misinformation. I used several references, and these are my references that I used. But thank you so much for listening to the organizational change within Regional Center and my plan of action to address it to my team to better implement change and structure. My name is Mari Walsh, and I'm in the Management 605 Leadership and Organization class at Grand Canyon University. Thank you.